In here, so buckle up, cause here we go. Oh boy, this looks like it's gonna be a long one today, but we're gonna be reacting to this Yandere Dev's newest video. So I made one about a day ago. To be honest, I probably wouldn't have done this video if it didn't get so many views. My last one got like 94 views, which, thank you. I also don't really expect to get as much views as last time, and if I do, it'll probably be a little bit more than the last one. But yeah, thank all of you for watching it, and hopefully keep watching it. So, and yeah, let's watch it. I'm a little nervous.
Hi, Osana is complete. Yandere Simulator's first official demo is now available. Links are in the description.
I'm probably gonna be quiet for most of this.
You might have a bunch of questions.
So sorry.
Like, how much content is in the demo? How close is the demo to the final game? How long did it take to make Osana? Will the other rivals take as much time to create as Osana did? How close is Yandere Simulator to completion? How long will it take to finish Yandere Simulator? And what is the next step in Yandere Simulator's development? I'll do my best to answer those questions in this video. Let's start with an easy one. How much content is in the demo? Osana's week involves 19 scripted events, 1 stealth mission, and 17 different elimination
Look at that reputation ball.
In fact, there is so much content in the Osana demo, it's entirely possible that most people who play it won't even realize just how much the demo has to offer, or how to access all of its content. Fortunately, there is a solution. If you pause the game, enter InfoChan's menu, and access the Schemes page, you will see a scheme for each of Osana's elimination methods. In case you don't know, a scheme is a kind of step-by-step walkthrough that guides you through a specific elimination method. This feature was inspired by something from the Hitman games called opportunities. Opportunities provide the player with step-by-step guides to eliminating their targets in specific ways. In my experience, the most fun aspect of playing the Hitman games is when I replay a mission over and over, going down the list of every possible way to eliminate my targets, until I've experienced all of the content that the mission has to offer. That's exactly how I hope people will enjoy the Osana demo.
I mean, I can't play it, but
until they've eliminated Osana in every possible way. In short, what I'm saying is that I hope you will take advantage of InfoChan's schemes to experience every bit of content that the demo has to offer. So, after hearing that, you might be wondering, how close is the demo to the final game?
Or how close is it?
This one is actually a bit complicated. It'll be easier to explain if I start at the beginning. When Yandere Simulator was originally conceived in 2014, it was designed to be a very simple game with very few features. As time passed, more and more features and mechanics were planned, and the game's design grew deeper and deeper. Eventually, Yandere Simulator evolved into a project that would be too complex for one man to finish on his own. I realized that I would require assistance from a team of professionals in order to finish the game, but that would cost a lot of money. One way to raise enough money to hire a team of professionals is to hold a crowdfunding campaign.
However,
several prominent crowdfunded projects have disappointed their backers, and as a result, many people are now reluctant to donate to crowdfunding campaigns. The problem is that when you donate to a project that doesn't exist yet, you don't have any guarantee of what the final game is going to be like. With that in mind, I came up with a solution.
I don't know what game that was, but
I decided to build a
it kind of looked bad.
demo that would allow
I'll move
people
it here
to
so you don't miss
experience
anything.
a piece of the final game.
Look how crisp
This
that
way,
looks.
there would be no mystery about what type of game Yandere Simulator was going to be, which would hopefully make people feel comfortable about supporting the crowdfunding campaign. Because the purpose of the demo is to represent a piece of the final game, I focused on functionality first and foremost. You'll be able to experience over 100
So much things
features
going
and
on the screen
gameplay
at
mechanics
once.
in the demo. However, because it is just a demo and not the final game, many models and animations are placeholders. The demo should allow you to get a sense of what type of game Yandere Simulator is supposed to be.
Exactly.
But the final game will, of course, have much better visuals, much better performance, and much more polish. Because Yandere Simulator is still in development, nothing is set in stone. We are still at a point in time when it's possible to make improvements to the game's design based on player feedback.
Oh, look at
I guess what I'm
look
trying
at the
to say here
FPS.
is that if you play the demo and you don't like it, please send me your thoughts. Your feedback can help me shape the demo from a rough stone into a polished diamond. Perhaps 1 month from now,
The
the
FPS
demo
is
will
like
offer
so
a
good.
new and improved experience that makes the current version completely obsolete. Next, I'd like to shine some light on a particular subject.
That was such good
How long did it
FPS.
take to make Osana?
I know you
I
people
announced the
say it
beginning of
doesn't look that
Osana's
hard.
development in October of 2016. However, I couldn't actually get very much work done because I lacked the animations, 3D models, music, voice acting, and other assets that would be needed to create her scripted events. All I could really do at that point in time was write the dialogue for her scripted events and send requests to volunteers. Over the course of the next year, I gradually received a slow trickle of animations and models that allowed me to occasionally work on Osana in little bits and pieces. Throughout the year, I jumped back and forth between working on Osana and working on other things. It wasn't until November of 2017 that I finally had every asset necessary to finish all of Osana's scripted events. In the video where I showed off her events, I explained that there would be no point in releasing Osana at that moment in time, because the game was still lacking a bunch of features that were necessary in order for me to craft a fun and challenging experience. I announced that I would stop working on Osana until all of the other necessary features were functional. For the next 19 months, I barely touched Osana at all. Instead, I focused my attention almost exclusively on implementing every feature that I felt was mandatory in order to make it fun to eliminate Osana. In case you're wondering why it took so long, I've written a blog post that might enlighten you. There's a link in the description. In June of 2019, I finally felt as though I had implemented enough features to return my attention to Osana. By December of 2019, Osana had reached a state of being functionally complete, meaning that every feature related to her was functioning, but there were still bugs, exploits, and things that required polish and improvement. Over the course of 2020, various circumstances prevented me from focusing on Yandere Simulator as much as I would have preferred to.
Yeah, so stop
This is yet
harassing
another
him.
thing you can learn
Please.
more about from a link in the description. Eventually, I was able to return my time and focus to Yandere Simulator, and Osana
Like I
was
said, I'm not
completed
talking that much
in
because I'm
August
trying to
of
listen.
2020. So I worked on her for 2 weeks in 2016, 12 weeks in 2017, 6 weeks in 2019, and 6 weeks in 2020. That means that from 2016 to 2020, I spent about 6 months in total working on Osana. This means that in the 77 months that I've been developing Yandere Simulator, less than 8% of that time was spent on Osana. The rest of my time was spent on all of the other things that I deemed necessary for the demo to be an accurate representation of the final product. At this point, it would be quite reasonable for you to ask, will the other rivals take as much time to create as Osana did?
I know people might be asking.
And the answer is no. The reason why it took 6 months to implement Osana is because I had to create the systems that were necessary for the game to support the presence of a special student
What is
that
this, the
everything else would
Matrix?
revolve around. Now that all of those systems are in place, dropping new rivals into the game will be much easier and faster. The most time-consuming part will be waiting for volunteers to create the animations and models necessary to give each rival a unique set of events. After hearing that, you might be wondering, how close is Yandere Simulator to completion? In my opinion, Yandere Simulator is 90% gameplay mechanics and 10% story elements. 100% of the gameplay mechanics are now functional, but only 10% of the story elements are in the game. So you could say that the game is currently 91% complete. The 9 remaining rivals are the 9 remaining percent. So with that in mind, how long will it take to finish Yandere Simulator? That depends entirely on the outcome of the crowdfunding campaign that I discussed earlier. Up until now, Yandere Simulator has relied entirely on assistance from volunteers who have been helping out in their spare time. Remember when I mentioned that it took 13 months for all of Osana's assets to be created? I'd like to avoid that in the future. If Yandere Simulator had an actual budget, then I could pay professionals to work full-time on creating the animations and models I need, so the waiting periods for future rivals would be much shorter.
So please
I am known
donate.
as Yandere Simulator's lead programmer, but that's not my only responsibility. There are many other obligations that I have to attend to on a daily basis. These various responsibilities take up the majority of my day and leave me with very little time to actually write code. If the crowdfunding campaign is a success, I can hire a professional software engineer to completely replace me as the game's lead programmer. This way, development speed will no longer be dependent on my personal availability.
Pizza now.
In short, if the crowdfunding campaign is a success, Yandere Simulator's development speed will increase immensely.
Look how fast it is.
Even in the event
All
that the
you need to do
crowdfunding
is
campaign
give
does not succeed,
your
there
money.
would still be several other ways to raise a budget for the game. I could look for investors who would be willing to finance the game in exchange for a percentage
I'm sure
of the
there's
game's
someone
profits. I could
that
look
is
for
if
a game company
that
that might be
doesn't
willing to
work.
bring Yandere Simulator to completion, most likely in exchange for the exclusive right to publish the game. If the crowdfunding campaign fails, and I can't find investors, and I can't find a company willing to help me, then Yandere Simulator will continue to be developed by volunteers in their spare time, which means that the game's development speed will probably remain the same as it is now. This is why we should do our best to make sure that the crowdfunding campaign succeeds.
Exactly, so please.
So, this leaves us
Please
with one
donate.
final question. What
to
is
him.
the next step in Yandere Simulator's development? I've spent a large chunk of this video talking about how important the crowdfunding campaign will be, but that doesn't mean I want to jump straight into it as soon as possible. First, I want to see how people react to the demo. If there is a lot of negative feedback, I'd like to revise the demo until it develops into an experience that most people enjoy. Before releasing the demo, I tried my best to locate and fix every possible bug that I could find, but it's very likely that there are still some bugs present. So, over the next few days, I'll probably be releasing frequent updates to fix every bug or exploit that gets discovered. The reason why I didn't upload any videos over the past few months is because I wanted to focus my time and attention exclusively on finishing the demo.
Yeah, but since
Now that the demo is released,
about
there are tons of videos
Yandere
I'd like to make.
in that
I want to show you
shooter
the new
game.
character models that are being created for Yandere Simulator. I want to show you a short story featuring Megami and Aoi. I want to make an in-depth video about the history of Yandere Simulator's development to clear up some common misconceptions about the game.
Yeah,
There are so many videos I want to make, and at this point in time, it's honestly pretty difficult to decide what I'll do first. Before I wrap up this video, there are a few other things I'd like to mention. The demo does not allow you to access debug commands or Easter eggs. until you've eliminated Osana at least once. I think you should have to play through the game legitimately at least one time before you gain the ability to cheat your way through
So I
it.
just had to, but
The demo has a new title screen.
I'm planning to make
If you
a video
play the game
about
as a
talking about
pacifist,
sands.
Yandere-chan will look innocent at the title screen.
Oh.
But if you kill anyone,
Give
then
me a sec.
Yandere-chan's appearance...
I just wanted to take a minute to say that I will be making a video on September 4th. I was thinking about doing it, but now since he talked about this and pacifist and stuff, I will be doing a video where I talk about the Sans Mifa costume and how I kind of have two video name ideas. So tell me below in the comments. One is the Mifa costume reveal, or Mifa costume that broke the internet, or the most shocking Super Smash Bros. Reveal ever. Please tell me below in the comments. I'm thinking the Mifa costume reveal that broke the internet, but yeah. I have to close out of this for now, so that's why I said it. Also on I can't remember, I think it's September 14th, which will be the anniversary of Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS. I will make my new cover of Lifelight September 14th, I think. Go check it out. If I'm wrong, just go.
To reflect the fact that you are playing through the game as a murderer. If you eliminate Osana by killing her, she will appear in the background of the title screen as a corpse.
Oh.
In the future, I think that she should appear differently on the title screen depending on the specific way that she was eliminated. For example, if she was driven to suicide, then she would be seen hanging from a tree in the background.
Suicide's bad.
The demo has a much more detailed settings menu than the debug builds do.
I'm probably gonna make another video talking about how suicide's bad and why I shouldn't do it.
There are shortcut buttons for turning all graphics down to the lowest settings, or restoring everything to default. I tried to make the game's graphical user interface a bit more presentable for the demo, but in the end, I don't think I really improved it that much. Graphic design simply isn't my specialty. Hopefully, in the future, I'll work together with a graphic designer to give the game's user interface a makeover.
I like it, it's like really
Osana's
cool.
friend, Raibaru, has been described as an invincible bodyguard, but that's not really true. It's actually pretty easy to get her away from Osana. Her purpose is to prevent the player from being able to simply run up to Osana and stab her right at the start of the day, without any immediate consequences. You can think of her as a simple puzzle that the player has to solve before they can make Osana become vulnerable. Currently, there are 4 ways to get rid of Raibaru, but one of those methods is way too easy and completely trivializes Raibaru as a gameplay mechanic. So I'll probably change it in the future.
Okay.
On the subject of difficulty, Osana is the first rival, so she should be the easiest to eliminate. However, with that said, I feel that it's currently way too easy to eliminate Osana. Even the first rival should still present a little challenge. I'll probably rebalance the difficulty of Osana in future updates, so that the player has to put in a little more effort to eliminate her. Before I end this video, the only other thing worth mentioning is that some of the cutscenes in the demo don't have animations. There was an animator creating animations for these cutscenes, but they never finished. I don't mind having unfinished cutscenes in the demo, since it really emphasizes the fact that the game's crowdfunding campaign absolutely needs to be a success. Otherwise, I won't be able to hire animators. And with that, I think I've covered all of the subjects that I wanted to discuss today. The release of the demo is a major milestone in Yandere's
Look at the FPS. Seriously.
and I hope it makes you covered all of the subjects that I wanted to discuss today. The release of the demo is a
I'm just gonna skip all of that.
during this term.
But yeah, I just said nothing. So memorable. September 4th, I'll make a video about the Sans Mifair costume anniversary where I talk about it. I'm also doing my new Lifelike cover on, I think September 14th, whatever day Super Smash Bros. For 3DS came out. So stay tuned, always seatbelts. Bye bye. Bye.